Hey guys, today I'm revealing for you my favorite motion hacks. These are features that are not that obvious in Apple Motion that you kind of have to dig for, or little shortcuts that I've developed over time that I think you're going to really enjoy. Let's just dig right into it. All right guys, for my first hack, take a look at this animated logo. I've got some behaviors on here. I've got the twirl filter, but what if I decided I wanted the flat version of my logo instead? Here's a shortcut for you. I'm just gonna head on over to my Finder, grab the logo I actually want, and I'm going to drag it into my Motion project and hover it over my layer, drop it in there, and look, instantly I've updated the logo, but I've maintained everything about it, all of the properties, the filter, the behaviors, the scale, everything's the same. All right guys, for my next hack, what if you're in a situation like this, where you have a logo and it's an AI file, so it should be high res, but when you scale up, it starts to look blurry and you don't know why. Let me show you how to fix that. We're gonna select it in our project pane, head on up to the Media tab at the top of our project pane, select that image, and then head on over to our inspector and switch to the Media tab there, and then uncheck this box here, Fixed Resolution. Watch what happens in my canvas. Suddenly it's super clear. That is such a helpful hack. All right, here is another hack for you relating to bringing images in to Apple Motion. Have you ever gotten a logo like this? It's nice and high res, it's an AI file, but it's got this white border around it. Here's a great hack to fix that. Just select it in your project pane, head on over to Filters, and head on down to Keying, and select Matte Magic, and just dial up the shrink value here in the inspector, and we've eliminated any sort of white outline you may be seeing on images you bring into Apple Motion. All right, here's another one for you. What about PSD files? These are Photoshop files. Let me show you something here. You can drag it from your Finder, hover it over your project pane, and until you get this little pop-up window, and select Import All Layers. And look, all of the layers in your PSD file are now individual elements in Apple Motion, so you could animate a PSD Photoshop file and have a lot of fun with something that would otherwise be really static. All right, and one more hack for you guys in the project pane. Let's say you have, I don't know, a presentation deck that was made in, say, PowerPoint, but is actually now a PDF. And you just want to access one page of this deck. Let me show you what to do here. Bring it into your project pane, head on over to Properties, and when you have a PDF, you get this new field down here for Media, and you can set the page number. So you don't have to isolate just that one page before you bring it into Apple Motion. All right, our next group of hacks relate to text. So let's drop some text into our canvas, but we're gonna do this in a different way than we normally do. We're gonna select the text tool here in the center of our screen, and instead of just clicking on our canvas and typing away, I'm going to draw a box by holding down my mouse key and drawing that box in my canvas. And now when I type in my canvas, my letters are confined to that box. That's great if you're trying to make credits roll or to fit something into a specific part of your frame and you really want to speed up your text alignment. This next hack is all about customizing your text. If you really dig down in the menu settings, you can really customize the look of that text. Let's head on over to Appearance in our inspector window. Let's make this text 3D. I'm going to dial up that weight. Now let's head down to the Substance field, and I'm going to change it from plastic to metal. And then to change the type, we're going to select aluminum here to get this drop-down menu. And you can see that there are a lot of different metals I can pick from, but I'm actually going to go to Custom, and I'm going to get rid of these two little squares here in my reflection gradient. I'm going to select that one that I've got left here, the white one, and we can change the color of this metal, let's say to a rose gold, and I can play with the shininess to make it a little bit brighter. And then we can head back up to our depth and make some changes here and change the lighting style as well to get it a little bit more of a custom look. All right, now let's keep customizing that text by heading on up to Behaviors. I'm going to go to Highlighter, and I'm going to go to Pirouette. And now you can see down in my timeline, I've got my Pirouette Behavior. And those are the default settings, but what I love about Apple Motion is that you can really customize your behaviors on your text. Let's head on up to the inspector window and look at the Pirouette Behavior here. First, let's drop down on the format values, and we're rotating on the y-axis, but what if we set that to 0 and made the x-axis 360 instead? And that's the movement you make. Now let's drop down to controls. And what if we animated just the words individually instead of each letter? And then there you go, a completely different look than what you thought you were getting with the Pirouette Behavior. All right, for my next hack, let's head on over to Library. We're gonna select Content here, and then let's search down at the bottom for a leaf. And let's grab this one here. Leaf 2 is actually a movie file. I'm gonna drop it into my project pane, and we can see what it is. It's kind of this floating, rotating leaf. It has very little movement to it. I actually want to make this look like a fall leaf, so I'm going to select it in the project pane. Let's head on up to filters for our next hack. We're going to go to color, and we're going to select Colorize. And now this leaf is brown. Let's head on over to the inspector window and really fine tune that coloring. I'm going to remap the blacks to kind of a reddish tone and remap the whites to a little bit darker. And now to me, that looks like a brown leaf. You can change the color of anything, even a movie file in Apple Motion with that Colorize tool. I'm going to hang on to this leaf to show you my next hack. Let's head on over to Library, and we're going to go to Particle Emitters. And I'm going to search for snow. And here we are, snow blizzard. I'm going to drop it into my project pane. And you can see what we've got. We've got the snow coming from the top center of our screen, but I want to turn these snowflakes into falling leaves. So what I need to do is watch this, drop down this arrow here in my project pane, and you can see I've got these two blurs here. These blurs are actually making up our snow flurries. If I turn one off, you can see a bunch of them disappear. I'm going to select Snow Blizzard in my project pane. Let's click Emitter in my inspector window. And you can see here my particle source are these little white flurries. What would happen if we selected this leaf in our project pane, held down our mouse key, and then dragged it into this particle source field? Now look, those snowflakes have turned into leaves. And then what I can do here is select now in my project pane that leaf, and let's change the scale of it. Make some changes here to the values, and then turn off that original leaf. That is how you take a emitter with all of its predetermined settings and just replace the image to give it a new look. All right, now let's talk about using the drawing tools in Apple Motion. I'm gonna head down to the Bezier tool, and here's a little shortcut for you. If you are an Adobe user, you probably already know this one, but you can draw linear points by clicking on 2 points in your canvas and you get a linear line. But if you want a curved line, as you click down for your next point, drag that mouse a little bit and you're gonna get some curved lines. But what if you just want to use the shape tool? Let's hit this drop down on our shape tool and pick a circle. I can hold down my shift key as I drag in my canvas to make a perfect circle. But what if I want to change the shape of that circle a little bit? I'm going to head on over to Geometry in the inspector window, and let's hit this button here, Convert to Points. And now I can manipulate that circle so it's not quite so perfectly round on one side. You saw me use this a lot with my last tutorial about cartooning yourself. If you didn't see that video, I'm going to drop it in the description box. All right, another great hack from that tutorial is playing with the roundness. Again, in that geometry tab here in our inspector window, we can dial up the roundness on any shape we draw, and it just makes everything look a lot neater, like this hair on this character I'm creating in Apple Motion. Here's another great hack that I love. Use the paint stroke tool to make any kind of texture you want. So let's say we draw our line here, and then we can head on over to shape style, and there are all these different types of paint strokes we can create with these styles. But what if none of them are exactly what you want? For instance, what if I wanted something that looked like a rope? There is no rope here in Apple Motion, so I'm gonna have to build it myself. Let me just show you how to do that. I'm gonna grab my circle tool, I'm gonna make a little circle, I'm gonna change the color of that circle to white, and I'm going to head on over to Properties and add a drop shadow to it. Now let's go back over to Paint Stroke here in our project pane, head on over to Shape. We're going to change the brush type on the outline from solid to image. And I'm going to drag in the circle from our project pane into our brush source. And I'm going to change the color of our brush to sort of more of a ropey tone. Now I'm going to dial up the width on that. Let's play with the spacing. All right, now we're starting to get somewhere. I'm going to select circle here in our project pane, head on over to properties, and we're going to play with that drop shadow and really bring it out. Now I'm going to go back to paint stroke. Let's head over to shape. Let's select geometry. I'm going to round out that paint stroke. And let's head on over to stroke and select this button, align brush angle. Let's turn off that circle. And now we've got a custom paint stroke that we've created by ourselves just using images in Apple Motion. Hey guys, before we go any further, let me know, are you enjoying this video? Let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, never miss an upload. Our next hack is a great shortcut that comes in handy. Let's go to library, head on over to generators, and first let's play with the default gradient. I'm gonna drop it in my project pane. And let's say we wanted a radial gradient here. We would drop down on gradient and change this to radial. If we wanted to make the gradient larger in our screen, we would have to play with these start and end values, which you can do, and it's not that big of a deal. But a shortcut I like to do is, again, go to generators, start with your color solid, and then head back on over to library, generators, and look for this one here. It's called soft gradient. Drop this above your color solid, head on over to your inspector, and you can dial up the radius on this, and you can change the color, and then head on over to properties. And now you can just reposition that gradient and scale. And I just find this so much faster than using the gradient generator itself. You can really very quickly play around with the placement of this, changing the radius. You can even dial down the opacity. I don't know, I just think this is a lot faster. My next hack is great for navigating in the keyframe editor. I've added some keyframes to this gradient so the gradient flies across the screen from left to right. Make sure you're selected on your element that you've got keyframes on, and then hit this little button here. It automatically zooms into the portion of my timeline where I've adjusted these keyframes, and so I can get a much better look at them and make adjustments. Here's another great hack for you guys. If you're really zoomed in on a project and you want a closer look at one specific part, hold down your spacebar as you mouse around your canvas, and then once you release the spacebar, you're back on your selection tool. Another hack that you might not know is that you can actually see your waveforms in your audio timeline. If you just have that audio timeline open, just hit this little speaker button to open it up here. And then you can't see any waveforms in the default view. If you want to see them, just head on over here, hover over your audio cut until you get this little double-sided arrow, and then drag down, and look, you can see all of your waveforms to help you time out your animations perfectly to your music. And my last tip for you guys, if you want to jump to a specific point in your project, just double click over here in these numbers on the top of your timeline and enter in the point where you want your cursor to be, and it automatically jumps. Which one was your favorite hack? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for creating with me today. I picked out some other videos I know you're really gonna love, and I will see you again.